Breakups can feel like the end of the world. You might have poured your heart into someone, believing they were the one. When that connection shatters, it often feels like the ground beneath you has disappeared, leaving a whirlwind of sadness, confusion, and a profound sense of loss. The feeling is raw and all-consuming, a pain unlike any other, and it can seem like happiness is no longer a possibility. But what if I told you that this painful experience could be transformed into an extraordinary opportunity for growth? What if your heartbreak could serve as the beginning of a powerful journey toward a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself? Today, we're going to dive deep into the art of navigating breakups by drawing inspiration from the timeless teachings of Stoic philosophy, combined with actionable strategies that anyone can apply to heal, grow, and thrive. With practical insights, real-life examples, and a compassionate outlook, we'll explore how heartbreak can be the doorway to self-discovery and new possibilities. Whether you're feeling lost, overwhelmed, or just unsure of how to move on, this guide will provide you with the tools and mindset you need to regain control of your life and create a future filled with joy and meaning. So take a deep breath. It's okay to feel hurt, and it's okay to be scared. But it's also okay to be hopeful, even if you can't quite see the light at the end of the tunnel yet. Together, we're going to navigate the storm, find purpose in the pain, and come out the other side stronger than ever. Let's begin this transformative journey together. Chapter 1: Facing Your Feelings. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, stormy ocean. The waves of sadness, anger, and betrayal are crashing all around you, threatening to pull you under. It feels chaotic and overwhelming, but what if instead of running from the storm, you could learn to ride the waves? Facing your emotions head-on is the first crucial step in turning heartbreak into a source of strength. Allow yourself to feel. One of the hardest parts of a breakup is coming to terms with your emotions. After my first serious relationship ended, I found myself in a state of constant turmoil, one moment feeling grief-stricken, the next filled with rage, and sometimes even experiencing fleeting moments of relief or hope. I quickly learned that denying or suppressing these emotions only made them stronger. Instead, I decided to sit with my pain, allowing myself to cry when I needed to, and to acknowledge my grief without judgment. Instead of ignoring what you're feeling, try leaning into it. Find a quiet space. Close your eyes and focus on what you're experiencing. Is it sadness, anger, fear? The simple act of naming these emotions can help create a sense of distance and perspective. It might feel like a flood now, but each wave will eventually recede, giving way to calmer waters. The power of naming emotions. One technique I found immensely helpful during my own breakup was labeling my emotions out loud. Whenever I felt overwhelmed, I would say to myself, "I'm feeling sad right now," or "This is frustration." By doing this, I realized I wasn't my emotions. They were just temporary experiences, like clouds passing across the sky. This simple act of naming can give you a greater sense of control, reminding you that emotions come and go, and you can weather the storm. Embrace the storm, allowing your feelings to pass. Think of your emotions as a natural part of life, like the weather. Sometimes it's stormy, sometimes sunny. During my breakup, I allowed myself the time and space to feel every bit of the pain. I cried, I journaled, and I talked to friends who cared. I found that the more I let myself feel, the quicker I began to heal. Take moments to express what you feel without guilt. Write in a journal, confide in a trusted friend, or just take time alone to sit with your thoughts. Accepting your emotions is not a sign of weakness. It's an act of courage. Each tear shed is a release of the heavy burden on your heart. Reflection. Finding the lessons hidden in pain. Every difficult emotion has something to teach us if we're willing to listen. What is the pain trying to say? During my most challenging moments, I began to ask myself reflective questions. What have I learned about myself in this relationship? How can I grow from this experience? This introspection can be deeply uncomfortable, but also incredibly enlightening. It's in these moments of self-reflection that we start to see heartbreak not as an ending, but as a beginning, an opportunity to transform our pain into personal growth. Chapter 2. Practicing radical self-care. After a breakup, it's easy to let self-care slip through the cracks. You might lose your appetite, stop exercising, or find yourself isolating from others. However, taking care of yourself is not just about surviving, it's about thriving. Think of self-care as an act of defiance, a powerful statement that says, I am worth the effort. Nourish your body and soul. Breakups can wreak havoc on your physical health. In the weeks following my breakup, I remember days where I barely ate anything or filled myself with junk food in an attempt to feel better. It was only when I consciously chose to nourish my body that I started feeling like myself again. Eating well is crucial for your mental health. Aim to incorporate foods that help stabilize your mood, like omega-3 rich salmon, leafy greens, or a hearty bowl of oats. Every small decision to take care of yourself is a step toward reclaiming your power. The healing power of movement exercise might be the last thing on your mind, but it's a game changer. Physical activity releases endorphins, nature's mood boosters. I remember dragging myself out of bed to go for a run, and while the first few minutes felt awful, by the end I noticed a lightness in my chest that hadn't been there before. Whether it's yoga, dancing, running, or even a walk in the park, movement is medicine. Reestablishing a routine. The chaos of emotions following a breakup can leave you feeling ungrounded. Creating a simple daily routine, one that includes moments of joy, productivity, and relaxation, can be immensely helpful. For me, it was about starting each morning with a cup of tea, a short meditation, and writing down 3 intentions for the day. These small rituals provided a sense of stability when everything else felt unpredictable. Mental wellness, a foundation for healing. Taking care of your mental health is just as important as caring for your body. Consider activities like journaling, meditation, or engaging in therapy. During my breakup, journaling became my sanctuary. Each night I'd pour my heart onto the page, my fears, my sadness, my hopes for the future. Over time, these words became a map of my healing process, showing me just how far I'd come. Chapter 3. Embracing solitude and rediscovering yourself. Being alone can feel daunting, especially after the end of a relationship. You may feel an emptiness where your partner used to be, but solitude is not the same as loneliness. In fact, embracing solitude can lead to profound self-discovery and growth. Learning to enjoy your own company. After my breakup, I struggled with the silence that filled my life. Suddenly, there were no goodnight texts, no weekend plans, and no one to share the small moments with. I decided to take myself on dates. I'd go to a cozy cafe with a good book, take long walks in nature, and even treated myself to a solo movie night. These experiences taught me that my own company could be just as fulfilling as anyone else's. I began to reconnect with the things I loved: music, art, writing, and in doing so, I found a deeper sense of wholeness. Finding beauty in the everyday. During our relationship, I had often overlooked the beauty in everyday moments. When I was forced to slow down and spend time alone, I started noticing the things I'd missed: the warmth of the morning sun through my window, the sound of birds singing in the early hours, the peacefulness of a quiet Sunday morning. Solitude is an opportunity to connect deeply with yourself and the world around you, to find beauty in places you may have forgotten. Creativity as a path to healing. Embracing solitude also meant tapping into my creativity. I found myself painting again, something I hadn't done in years. Creating art was therapeutic, a way to express the emotions I couldn't put into words. Whether it's drawing, cooking, writing, or even dancing, engaging in creative activities can help you process emotions and connect with a sense of joy. Chapter 4. Reflecting and learning from the past. Breakups provide an opportunity for introspection, to look back at what worked, what didn't, and what you want from future relationships. This reflection is not about placing blame. It's about understanding, growing, and becoming a better partner to yourself and others. Analyzing relationship patterns. Take a step back and reflect on the dynamics of your past relationship. Did certain patterns keep emerging, Maybe difficulties in communication or differences in expectations? I noticed a recurring issue in my relationship where I struggled to express my needs clearly. This lack of communication led to misunderstandings and unmet expectations. Reflecting on these patterns allowed me to understand what went wrong and how I could approach things differently in the future. Understanding these dynamics helps you to break old habits and create healthier relationships moving forward. Identifying what truly matters to you. Breakups can also provide clarity on what you value most. I realized that I wanted a partner who shared my love for adventure and curiosity about the world. This realization helped me refine my expectations for future relationships and be more intentional about the kind of person I wanted to share my life with. Write down the qualities that are most important to you in a partner and in a relationship. Understanding your values helps you set standards that honor your needs and well-being. Seeking insights from trusted sources. Sometimes we're too close to a situation to see it clearly. During my breakup, I reached out to a therapist to help me make sense of my feelings. Talking to a professional offered me insights I wouldn't have been able to find on my own. If therapy isn't an option for you, consider talking to a trusted friend or family member who can provide a compassionate and unbiased perspective. Chapter 5. Setting new goals for the future. Breakups can feel like losing a sense of direction, but they also present an opportunity to reset and redefine your path. Setting new goals gives you a sense of purpose and direction, helping you reclaim your narrative. Small steps toward growth. Start by setting small, achievable goals. After my breakup, one of my first goals was simply to wake up at a consistent time every day. It may seem small, but that simple commitment gave me a sense of stability when everything else felt chaotic. Achieving small goals builds momentum and helps you regain a sense of control over your life. Reconnecting with old dreams. Breakups are also a chance to revisit old aspirations. Maybe you wanted to learn a new language, write a book, or start a business. I'd always dreamed of traveling solo, and after my breakup, I decided to take the leap. I booked a trip to a nearby city, and that experience of independence was incredibly empowering. Write down some goals, both big and small, that excite you. Then break those goals into manageable steps. Every small action brings you closer to a future filled with possibilities. Creating a vision for your future. What kind of life do you want to build moving forward? Take time to imagine the life you want, the kind of relationships, work, and experiences that bring you joy. I started creating a vision board filled with images and words that represented the future I dreamed of. This exercise helped me shift my focus from the pain of what I'd lost to the hope of what I could create. Chapter 6. The Power of Social Connection. After a breakup, it's natural to feel isolated. You may want to withdraw and process your emotions alone, but leaning on your social connections can be a lifeline. Friends and family provide comfort, laughter, and a reminder that love still exists all around you. Reaching out for support. When I went through my breakup, I leaned heavily on my closest friends. I remember one evening, feeling completely overwhelmed by my sadness, I called a friend. We talked for hours, and by the end, I felt a sense of relief. Opening up about your feelings to the people who love you can be a powerful way to alleviate the burden of heartbreak. Finding joy in shared experiences. Sometimes the best medicine is a night filled with laughter. After my breakup, I made a point to reconnect with friends I hadn't seen in a while. We went out for dinner, watched movies, and even went on spontaneous adventures. These moments reminded me that joy was still possible and that I had a network of love and support around me. Being open to new friendships. Breakups can also be a chance to meet new people and form new connections. Whether it's joining a club, taking a class, or participating in a community event, new friendships can bring fresh energy into your life. After my breakup, I joined a book club and met people who shared my love for literature. It was refreshing to be around new faces and hear new perspectives. Chapter 7. Giving yourself space and time. Healing takes time, and part of that process is giving yourself the space you need to process your emotions. This means both emotional space and physical space, from your ex, from triggers, and from the pressures of moving on too quickly. Setting boundaries with your ex. It's hard to heal if you're still in constant contact with your ex. One of the best decisions I made was to implement a period of no contact. This wasn't to punish my ex or create unnecessary distance, but rather to give myself the time I needed to heal. If you're struggling to let go, consider taking a step back. Time apart allows you to regain perspective and focus on your own well-being. Creating a fresh space for healing. Physical space is just as important as emotional space. After my breakup, I rearranged my apartment. I moved the furniture, added some new decorations, and made the space feel like mine again. These changes, though small, helped create a fresh environment that wasn't filled with reminders of the past. The importance of rest healing is hard work, and it's important to allow yourself rest. I remember many sleepless nights after my breakup, my mind racing with thoughts of what could have been. Creating a calming bedtime routine, including light stretching, a warm bath, and reading, helped me find peace. Prioritize your rest and remember that sleep is a crucial part of the healing process. Chapter 8, Embracing a Growth Mindset. Heartbreak can be a catalyst for incredible growth if we allow it to be. Instead of viewing a breakup as a failure, see it as an opportunity, a chance to learn about yourself, evolve, and become stronger. Adopting a growth-oriented perspective. When I first faced my breakup, I felt like I'd failed my relationship, my partner, myself. But over time, I realized that this was not the end, but a beginning. It was an opportunity to grow in ways I wouldn't have if I'd stayed comfortable. Each challenge we face is an invitation to evolve. The value of resilience. One of the biggest lessons I learned from my breakup was resilience. There were days when the pain felt unbearable, when the future seemed bleak. But each day that I got up, took care of myself, and faced the world, I became more resilient. I learned that I was capable of surviving and thriving, even without the relationship I thought I needed. Learning from mistakes, part of growth, is accepting that we make mistakes, and that's okay. Reflecting on what didn't work in your relationship isn't about blaming yourself, but rather about understanding how to do better next time. I realized that I had sometimes been too afraid to voice my needs, which led to resentment. Understanding this allowed me to commit to better communication in future relationships. Chapter 9, Cultivating New Interests and Passions. One of the gifts of heartbreak is the opportunity it gives you to refocus on yourself and cultivate new interests. When a relationship ends, it's an ideal time to explore what brings you joy and fulfillment outside of a romantic partnership. Trying something completely new. Breakups leave an empty space, but that space can be filled with new passions. I decided to take up pottery, something I'd always wanted to try. The process of molding clay was grounding, a reminder that beautiful things can come from starting over. Whether it's art, a new sport, or learning to cook, trying something new can be a powerful reminder of the limitless possibilities life still holds. Rediscovering forgotten joys. In relationships, we often set aside personal hobbies. After my breakup, I picked up my guitar again, something I hadn't touched in years. Playing music became a form of therapy, a way to express the emotions I couldn't articulate. Rediscovering old joys is a beautiful way to reconnect with parts of yourself that may have been neglected. Connecting with communities. Pursuing new interests can also lead you to meet like-minded individuals. After joining a cooking class, I found a community of people who shared my passion for culinary adventures. These new connections brought positivity into my life and helped me feel more connected. Chapter 10, Focusing on the Present Moment. Heartbreak often keeps us trapped in the past or anxious about the future. Learning to live in the present moment is an essential part of the healing journey. Mindfulness practices. Mindfulness became my anchor during my breakup. I started practicing meditation, just 5 minutes each morning, where I'd sit quietly, focus on my breathing, and let go of the thoughts that weighed me down. This practice taught me that the only moment we truly have is the one we're in. By staying present, I was able to experience moments of peace, even amidst the sadness. Finding joy in small moments. Focusing on the present also means finding joy in the small things. A cup of hot coffee, a sunny day, a favorite song playing on the radio. When I focused on these small joys, I began to realize that happiness wasn't something I needed to wait for. It was something I could find right here, right now. The power of breath. Whenever I felt overwhelmed, I returned to my breath. Taking a deep breath in, holding it for a moment, and slowly releasing it helped me center myself. This simple practice is a powerful tool for staying grounded, no matter how chaotic emotions may feel. Breakups are undoubtedly painful. They test our strength, shatter our illusions, and leave us questioning our worth. But they also offer us an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to redefine ourselves. As the Stoics believed, true strength lies in how we respond to adversity. Your breakup is not the end. It is merely the beginning of a new chapter. One where you have the chance to create a life that aligns with your truest self, filled with joy, growth, and purpose. By facing your feelings, practicing self-care, setting new goals, embracing solitude, cultivating new interests, and focusing on the present, you are not just healing from the heartbreak. You are transforming into a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Remember, the pain you're feeling now will pass. The sadness will fade, and in its place, new possibilities will arise. Trust the process of healing, embrace the lessons, and allow yourself to step into the future with hope and courage. Your story is far from over. It's only just beginning.